So, Alex, I had a near-death experience yesterday.
What? I didn't
I
hear
am
about
dead
this.
serious. No.
Tell me.
So Alex, we were sitting down to eat dinner, at a restaurant. We're at a Chinese restaurant, and
Can I ask
I,
which?
sure, Lan Yu.
Lan Yu.
Yes.
I'll be sure to
It's where.
watch myself over there.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I took a bite of rice, and then I suddenly realized I couldn't breathe, Alex.
You choked on rice?
Yes, I'm dead serious. I was
How did
choking on
how did
rice.
you choke on rice? Those things
I
are like
don't even know, Alex. I was so confused.
it must have been some really big rice. Jeez.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the sort of choking where you're choking and then you're fine. Like I actually couldn't, to the point where I had to like motion to my dad and put like my hands around my throat.
Whoa.
I'm like that serious. So he actually had to stand up and he did the Heimlich maneuver and the whole restaurant went silent.
Dang.
Yeah, like
Did
I'm
you go
dead
like, I
serious.
demand a discount. I want free rice for life.
No, it didn't. She brought me some tea though. The waitress brought me some tea.
That's
She
nice
was
of
nice.
her.
Yeah. But I was a little bit embarrassed
Dang.
after that. But no, like it took he thrusted twice and then it came out. But it was
Wow.
pretty scary, Alex. Pretty
Do you have a
scary.
new perspective on life?
Yeah, I realized how quickly death could come because in my mind I'm like I'm gonna die because I
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
breathe.
true. Are you
It
gonna
was it was
Are you
terrifying.
gonna feel nervous about going into? I guess we won't go to Aomi's for lunch.
uh I don't know, Alex. I don't know.
Okay.
We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
I choked on a piece of chicken once.
Really?
It's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
But dang, that's pretty crazy. I went
Yeah.
to a fondue restaurant once. I know fondue restaurant. That's like
Ooh, no,
it
I've
seems
been
so
there.
fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was like the boiling pot or something,
Or the
right?
melting
The
pot?
melting pot. There you go. That's the
Yeah,
one.
I've been there. Yeah.
It was hanging out with some theater kids my first like day ever. So
Mhm.
and I was like really nervous the whole time because they have to like run out with these like boiling hot
Oh yeah.
pots of like cheese. It's like getting tarred or something in the medieval ages.
Right.
It's like if that spills on me, I'm gonna get fourth degree burns over all of my body.
Yeah, it's
So whenever
serious.
so whenever they yell out cut like the bowl or fondue whenever they walk out their doors and stuff, and you have to
Mhm.
like hug the wall. It's really freaky. Just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, Benjamin. What's the big topics for this B&B? You said there might be a couple little
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. So the first thing is there is this thing. It's actually I want to do a little test with you to see it has to do with
Ooh.
pronunciation in English of
Oh,
certain
so it's like
words.
a accent,
Yes.
like an accent tag where you have to
Yeah.
say aunt or aunt or whatever.
Sort of, yes.
Ooh.
It's not quite like a southern or a northern type thing. It's more of a. It has a lot to do with. It is regional, but it has more to do with generational things too. So like how
Generational.
we, yeah, so how we might say things differently than people older than us.
All right, you had my curiosity, but now you have my attention. Please.
All right, I gotta have. You need to say some words. I'm gonna spell the word out for you, and then I want you to say it.
All right.
All right. So here's the first word. COT. Say that word for me, Alex.
A cop. Like
S-
I'm about to get arrested
No,
or
no, no. COT. Sorry.
COT. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a cot. Like I'm about to go to sleep. Two very
Yeah.
different things. I understand.
Right, right, right. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so here's the second word I want you to say. CAUGHT.
CAUG. Oh, yeah. Caught. Same thing. I was caught by the cop on my cot.
All right. So now I want you to say another set. I'm gonna go through a couple, and I'm listening for something here.
I love these. These are
Yeah.
interesting. Go ahead.
Yes. DON, like the name.
Oh yeah. Don. Like
Yeah.
uh like the Don of a mafia. Like,
Right,
hey,
right.
ice
Yeah.
'em.
Don Quixote. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a book.
No, yeah,
And then
windmill. Yeah.
DA. Yeah, tilting at windmills. DAWN.
I was expecting that, and I
Yeah.
gotta say, dawn. Like I woke up at dawn.
Yeah. Already.
Okay, I see the pattern here. It's emerging.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. Let's see. Chock. Like,
Chock,
hello,
like chock full of. Sorry, you blinked out there.
Alex.
Chock.
You there?
Are you there? Am I there?
Hey, am I back?
Are you back?
Oh. Whew.
Wow,
Wow.
what
No,
a
I couldn't
brush
hear
with
you at
death.
all.
Wait, what time is this? About 10 minutes in. I'll make a mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
hear you
You'll just
perfectly
edit that
fine.
out. Yeah, and we'll just explain.
Oh yeah, yeah. Benjamin's toaster
The
is all he
hamster had to
also
take a break. Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
whipped.
He also has a toaster router for his Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So everything's made out of toast over at his house. But
Yep.
I think we were at
Chock. Yeah.
yeah, chalk. Like
Mhm.
chock full of chocolate.
Yes. And then Chalk.
CHA. Yeah, yeah, it's chalk.
All right.
Oh, I kind of said an L there. I just realized. It's a little different.
Yeah. And
Ma-
then let's see. Two more. Um
Uh-oh. Here we go.
so Collar.
Oh, yeah. Collar.
Yeah. And then Caller.
Also collar.
And then see the last one is Otto.
OTTO, like auto, like
Yes.
auto,
Yeah.
like that kid from Rocket Power back in the day.
Right. Or Otto von Bismarck. Yes.
Okay, well, there's the difference between you and me.
um
Yeah.
and then there's Auto.
Also auto. Auto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I
So,
prefer manual in most
yeah.
most settings, but
Right, right.
so I
So
see what was going on there. Why don't you explain it?
so this is called the cot merger. Um I say them the same way. Cot.
Yeah.
Alex, you said some of these words the same way and some of them not. So you were only partially merged.
Really? Was it the
Yes.
chalk? Chalk?
Um that one, and then the first one you did say caught
Oh, I
rather than
did? I didn't
caught.
even
A little
realize
bit
I was
more. We could go back through. It sounded a little
caught.
bit more like
Caught.
caught.
I, I,
Yeah.
I, c- I can see it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
Just a tiny little variation, but yeah, it's there.
Yeah. Um
Wow.
so yeah, this is a change that's currently happening in the English language because
Whoa.
yeah, it used to be these sounds were completely different. So it would be cot, the thing you sleep in, and then caught, which would
Oh,
be like
wow.
yeah, but now
So now it's
people
more contextual.
caught and caught. It's the same thing now. That sound is disappearing in the
Actually,
English
I was
language.
having a conversation about this with my dad the other day. It's
Really?
yeah, it's uncanny actually that we're talking about it. Um, yeah, it's becoming more contextual, right? I mean, you see it in the slang, like it's like almost meme level slang, like going from what's up to saw. And I hypothesize that in about a couple hundred years, we'll just cut out all of it, will just be contextual, and we'll just be grunting like instead it goes from what's up to saw to and then it'll just be like conversations just gonna be like
Ugh.
uh, uh, like that. It's just gonna be and like I could go and it's gonna be like a paragraph of information.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna be like monkeys, like an ape, ape escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is a
I
good
see
game.
what you're talking about there. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. I never
Um
really thought about it.
yeah. Now there are some dialects that especially resist this merger.
Oh yeah.
Um especially in the deep south, the central Great Lakes region and the a northeast corridor in the Atlantic coast. So,
Mm. So
yeah,
the
and it's due to their accent apparently avoids some of the things um where it would be more likely to merge,
I
which is
mean that
interesting.
makes sense, right? Different
Yeah.
ways of saying things in different places. Let's slow it
But yeah,
down a little bit. What do you think
but
about it? Do you think? I mean, it's kind of stupid to call it a good or bad thing, but do you think
right.
because it's like, well, it's just the way we speak.
Right.
Although the way we speak does hold value, I guess.
hmm
But what are your thoughts on it?
Um, so to me, I think, well, sort of what I think about languages is like, so they change, and people are always saying like, oh no, like it's leaving us, it's
Yeah,
completely changing. We won't be able to understand it. But I don't know. I see it as like this natural passage of languages.
yeah.
Um, and the written language is always different than how people say things. But I don't know. I find it fascinating that this is happening because at the same time, these sounds are becoming the same. Other words are becoming different and changing as well. So it's like a moving target. It will never ever be perfectly simplified.
I know what you're talking about, and it
Yeah.
reminds me of like it's like media. Originally, it was like cave paintings, and then it moved on to proper instructional, um, I guess glyphs almost. Then you got letters, and you're writing on tablets to writing on paper to being able to like combine the two to being able to take moving pictures to being able to interact with the moving pictures, which is kind of where we're at now. And I mean, there's a progression. I know what you're talking about. I can see it.
But anyway, I just found that fascinating. This is like a change that's like happening right now in
Yeah, I use it every day.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I'm
it's
reading.
like it doesn't sound wrong. If someone says caught and then caught, you're like, "Oh,
Yeah,
that's normal."
it's
Yeah.
context. Yeah, I love it. I'm reading a I'm reading a Cormac McCarthy book in
Mhm.
AP Lit right now. It's All the Little Horses, and I'm excited
Mm.
because it has Spanish in it. And
Oh,
Mr.
nice.
Tamil was apprehensive about it because he said when he first read it, it like caught him off guard, and it was like way more than he thought. But puedo flexionar mi músculo español.
See.
Yeah, see,
See,
I can
oui.
finally
No.
put those like 12 years to use.
Yeah, making sense of things. Yeah.
Yeah, only took a decade.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. In Spanish, we've also like for IB, like I go to an international baccalaureate
Ooh,
school, an IB
ooh.
school. Yes. Um, we have to read Spanish literature stuff and then write like a paper on it. And
Wow.
so we read Cajas de Cartón, which was a short little novel in Spanish.
That's pretty cool. Man,
Our
a whole
teacher went
novel,
through. Yeah,
even if it's not like, you know,
it's like a kid's book. Well, sort of. Yeah,
well, still
but
though, it's like Goosebumps.
yeah, our
Goosebumps
teacher
level
went
reading.
through and found like hard words and like went ahead and like put them on lists so we could know what they were though. Like just
Nice.
vocab stuff. Yeah.
That's
That's the hard part. Once you learn the grammar and the basic stuff, it's just vocab.
that's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
wonder if they're going under some language changes too.
I'll bet. Hey Alex. So, oh, here's one for you. A difference between Latin American and Spain Spanish. Can you
Ah,
you know what true is? Like if you want to say true
yeah,
in
true.
Spanish.
Oh, yeah,
It,
cierto, yeah.
yeah.
See.
Well, in España, they would say cierto,
Wait, they would say what?
cierto.
Cierto? Sounds like they
They
got a
put a
lisp.
th
A
sound
lisp.
instead of the c. Cierto. So just put the th sound there instead of the c.
Do you know the reason? Is it just like
Um,
the way it developed?
I don't know actually. I do not know the reason to that.
Weird. Huh.
But it's for c's and z's at the beginning of words. So instead of zapatos, it would be zapatos.
Whoa. That's kind of funny.
I'm probably
If I ever study abroad in Spain or something, I'm gonna giggle my first couple weeks
yeah.
because I learned I think I learned the kind of the Mexican uh like southern US where all that is.
Mhm.
That's pretty funny. Huh.
Yeah. Now people are gonna laugh at.
I need to put on my thews.
Yeah. People are gonna laugh at our pronunciation of Spanish. So I already
Oh
apologize.
yeah, yeah. No. When we do that, it's gonna be yeah, I'm gonna be speaking like a kindergartner or something.
yeah.
I want book.
All right. So the second topic I wanted to tell you about
Solid
was
transition. Yeah.
yeah, the the It was a documentary. Well, it was under a documentary subreddit on Reddit, and someone posted a link to a comedy show um, featured around a certain premise. And he was talking about a thing called Google Whack.
Google whack?
Yes,
What?
exactly.
What's
that was that was his first question too.
Dave Corman's Google whack adventure?
Yes, that is a 2 hours that you will not miss
Solid.
after watching that. Yes.
So what's it all about?
So a Google Whack. This is a thing. Sadly, I discovered after watching this, the Google Whack does not exist anymore, which made me incredibly sad. But what it used to be is on Google, you would put in 2 words, just like one word space another word, and you would hit enter, and it would tell you all of the results, right, where those words are in it. Well, a
Yeah.
Google Whack is when the 2 words appear on exactly one page together and no other
Okay.
pages. You have no other results. It would just be those 2 words.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's comedy. Do you
Yeah.
get some
So
really weird results?
no, it's not about the results are funny, but that's not about what happened. He was just, a comedy genius dude, right? And he was trying to write a novel, okay? But he just receives in his email one day someone telling him, "Hey, Dave Gorman,
Yeah.
you're a Google whack." And he's like, "What the hell's a Google whack?" But and so he figures out what this is. So then he decides he has to find one, of course.
I mean,
And
yeah.
so yeah, so he finds this random guy and he contacts him. And anyway, so he goes and talks to this guy, and then this other guy is like, "Oh, I gotta find one now." So he finds a Google whack, and guess what?
What?
That Google whack is of someone else with the exact same name as Dave Gorman. Sorry, he found someone with the exact same name from that Google whack.
Weird.
And guess
Wow, that's
what?
weird.
And here's what's fascinating.
Yeah.
He knew him. This Dave Gorman knew the other Dave Gorman already.
No.
Dead serious.
Time
Because
travel.
this Dave Gorman, years past, had created a meeting where he met all the other Dave Gormans he could find. And this was one of the Dave Gormans he found. I'm dead serious. He found this.
That's crazy. Wow, what a small world.
And guess what he decides to do? He decides to go on an adventure, having each person he finds, find 2 more Google whacks, and he has to 10 in a row.
Oh,
And
jeez.
he just travels across the world meeting them.
That's pretty nuts, man.
Yeah, and his adventure just goes crazy and off the rails. And he's supposed to be writing a novel.
That sounds really crazy.
I
That's
know,
pretty
and
cool.
he's hilarious too as he's talking about it.
I mean,
But I was just,
we've all Googled our own names, but who has Google whacked our own names? Am I right?
yeah, exactly.
Wow.
But
Yeah,
no,
that I'm down for watching that.
yeah, it was absolutely amazing. I couldn't stop watching because it was just fascinating. But it just made me so sad that Google Wax don't exist anymore because Google changed how they Google stuff.
Oh, that's too
I
bad.
know because immediately after I tried Googling it, and then people were discussing and lamenting the fact that it was changed.
I saw something Google related the other day. I was
What was it?
bored in class. I was looking up some of the cooler TED Talks, some of the fun ones, and one of them was titled like "Hacking the FBI is easy and fun." So I was like,
What?
"Wow, okay." I'm assuming this guy got arrested afterward, but it turns out he was arrested beforehand. And
Oh,
yeah, so
right.
what happened was this guy was worried about Google Maps because these people could like and well, really, the ads at the top of a Google search, they have like sponsored ads that have the little yellow mark on them to let you know. And
Right.
people were manipulating the system so that like scams would show up, like $15, I'll come to your house or car locksmith service. None of
Oh,
them are
yeah.
worth $15. It's just that once you're there, they're like locked out of their home. They pressure you for like $300 or something
Oh
crazy.
my god.
And also people can just edit stuff. So these people ruined this old man's business by changing their hours to nothing on the weekend, and then a ton of business just stopped coming. because it said, "Hey, we're not open on the weekends," and it sunk his business in less than like a month. So he was really angry about that. So he started like messing around with it. This was at the height of Edward Snowden.
Oh,
So
right.
he made a Google place right on the White House lawn called Edward Snowden's super secret hiding spot. It got 5 stars.
Oh my god.
So he was messing around with it, and then eventually he was like, "But yeah, this is silly, but it could be like really dangerous. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
make it really dangerous. Here's some. Here's a Secret Service kind of like hideout here. It's not really a hideout. It's like an office almost. So I'm gonna make a placement there, a little Google place where you can click on it and see it. And I'm gonna put the phone number down, but it's routed through me. It's not hacking or anything. It's just like basic put in the wrong info so that I get the info.
Right.
And so he recorded. So he started recording. He was like, okay, it's gonna get shut down soon, right? And then it never got shut down. He had like 60 phone calls to the Secret Service recorded on his laptop, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna stop because I don't want to end up like with a hole in my head and at the bottom of a river or something." So he calls the Secret Service and is like, "Hey, I have like a ton of recorded phone calls because I was trying to show that Google's bad. Please don't arrest me." They don't te- they technically don't arrest him, but they really don't want him to leave. And then yeah, so the FBI got super mad and told Google to change it, and fix it, take it down and then fix it. So they said yeah, 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 and they put a stop to it for a while, but then they put up the new build again and nothing had changed, and
Wow.
the FBI didn't even notice. They just stamped a case closed on it because they figured that Google would change it. But at the time, I don't know when the TED Talk was done, but at the time of its the talk was given, it was still he made a new Google place just to show that it's still not fixed, called Edwards Snow Den, a
Ah.
shop for winter apparel in the middle of the White House. Yeah,
That's amazing. Wow.
some Google stories there for you.
I know Google's crazy.
Yeah, I heard it's like that movie Deus Ex Machina.
Hmm.
Have you seen that movie?
I've heard of it and I know what
It's
like a
really
Deus Ex Machina is,
I
but
think
I
you'd
haven't
I
seen
think
it.
you'd love it. It's that it's like a minimal cast, has like 4 characters, and it's about this guy who's basically in charge of a fictional Google, and he says the secret to artificial intelligence is search engines because it mimics a brain much more closely than just like true or false statements, you know?
Yeah.
And he makes a robot that seems like very much like the discussion we had during the morals episode,
Right.
where it's like it seems really human, it seems to have emotion. Should I help it escape or not? Is she manipulating me or not? And it has some cool twists in there. Really good
Yeah.
movie. Sounds like it's right up your alley.
Yeah.
But yeah, search
Should check it
engines.
out. Yeah.
All right. Any other topics?
Yeah. I
Got a
just
couple more.
one. Yeah. I had one more topic I wanted to talk about.
Hey.
Um. Yeah. I I do not recall whether I've told you about this before or not, but I figured we could talk about it because it's fascinating. Um. It is actually an anime. Um.
Oh.
Yeah.
You heard it here
But it's
first, folks. I'm not averse to anime. I've watched a couple. I
yes.
admit
I've
it.
watched a couple too. Yeah.
Some of them are
Um.
good. I love
Yeah.
them.
This one is called Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Wow. That sounds like
Yes,
a space opera kind of deal.
that is exactly what it is.
What
This
what was it
is
called? Let me.
Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Legend of Galactic Heroes.
Yes,
Inform me, Benjamin. It
it
looks
is.
like a classic kind of 80s.
Yes, it is like Star Wars, but so much better with more political intrigue and militaristic combat and politics, and it is Star Wars but better.
Ooh,
Um,
strong claim.
yes, I know.
Some
No,
people
I
would
love
agree
Star
with you
Wars.
nowadays.
Yeah, I'm saying in terms of the story, like I love Star Wars. Like the themes of Star Wars are, massive and amazing, monumental.
But this is like
But
political and military
yeah,
intrigue
the
is what you're telling
intrigue
me.
and
Yeah.
the politics and the other stuff is done much better than George Lucas has done. But here's what it is. It's gonna sound very familiar. You have the Galactic Empire.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
The
and then you
Galactic Empire, yeah.
and the Free Planets Alliance. Or
The FPA.
yes. And so the story follows two major characters, one on each side of the conflict, which is why it's amazing because you see both
That's pretty cool.
sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're both military geniuses.
Oh, classic rivalry story. I like
Yeah,
it.
but they're like complete foils of each other too, which is why it's fascinating. But it brings this whole question into play of like, is democracy better than autocracy? That type of thing. But it doesn't just do that in the simplistic way. What it does is it shows Yang Wen Li of the Free Planets Alliance. He defends democracy, but his democracy is like at the end. It's like super corrupt. Um, all these couple individuals basically control everything. They have like tyrannical leaders who are populist and take advantage of the population. But he defends it anyway. Whereas in the Galactic Empire, you have an emperor, but it doesn't follow him. The character it follows is this minor noble who is rising to power to overthrow the emperor and institute reform and change within the empire.
I
So it's
mean,
sort of the whole
it made
like,
it more morally gray than like, yeah, democracy and boo, boo, this sucks. The other
yeah,
side sucks. So it made it a little more morally gray.
yeah. So you have this really good character. And Yang Wen Li also, he never wanted to be in the military. He never wanted to fight. He just wanted to be a historian. Like he literally just
Aw,
wanted to be a historian, but he was forced into joining because um if I remember correctly, it was money um that he was forced to go into it.
isn't it
But
always?
yeah, but it was sort of like they would pay, or maybe like to pay for his education or something. I can't remember because he wanted to go to college. But anyway, he
I'm
ends
already
up,
liking him.
yeah, he ends up being just a whiz. Like he's amazing at
Whiz
tactics.
kid, yeah.
Yeah, and strategy. So he keeps rising to the top. And there's this one thing where he leads this evacuation. And this is before the main
Dunkirk.
story. Yeah, he leads this huge evacuation um of El Facil, which was a planet when it was under
Wait,
attack.
El Facile?
Yeah,
The easy?
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All right.
yeah, and he becomes known as the hero of El Facil.
The
And
hero of easy.
yeah,
What a
and
title.
I know. And so he keeps rising to the top this whole time, hating war, hating conflict, but being amazing at it.
What side is he on again?
The Free Planets Alliance.
Okay, so he's the Democratic guy.
Yeah, and he criticizes the government. He hates the government there because it's super corrupt, and the government is super nationalistic, and he's like, nationalism stupid. That's his whole thing.
Oh,
Um, yeah, he loves the people. He cares about the people. Like he's amazing. But the problem, like, he's fighting for this corrupt democracy that
so it's less of like an American democracy in the real world and more of like
yeah,
a small nation that's having trouble. Because
or
like
it's like
down in
American.
like South America has some like super rigged elections and stuff, super
Yeah.
corrupt. It's that
Well,
kind of
it's
deal.
like it's sort of it's I actually think he's meant to parody America
I
here,
mean,
but it's America
they
in the
usually do,
future.
yeah.
Yeah, it's America when things have taken a step further than it already is now. Um but yeah, and on the other side, here is the story of Reinhard von Lohengram.
Wow.
Yes. What the name, huh?
Yeah, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
So whereas the Free Planets Alliance is very multicultural, they have like people from all sorts of different cultures, and so like Yang Wen Li, Japanese. So you have like these different countries represented, or old countries from Earth. But in the in the Galactic Empire, it's very much based on like Prussian Germany. from before it became like Frederick the Great is Prussia. It's like based off of that time period. Um, so the whole empire has very German names. And they follow like the old gods of like Odin and
Ooh,
Thor. Yeah.
space Odin. That's pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. Um. Anyway, so he's he's the son of a minor noble, and anyway, so he has an older sister, right?
Yeah.
And his older sister, the emperor who takes concubines and many wives, takes a liking to her, and so he offers to Reinhard's father to like he offers to pay him a huge sum of money if he could have her, and his father
Ugh.
does sells her away and makes a ton of
Ugh.
money. Well, Reinhard's like pissed off. He's like, "What the heck?" Um, so he
I'm trying
begins.
to quote Overwatch, but I just
Yeah,
have not played it in forever, so I can't.
you just can't.
He was my character though.
Yeah,
But yeah, so he sells his
that's a
daughter to
yeah.
yeah.
So Reinhard is completely he's angry about this. So he and his best friend Siegfried Kircheis um
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. And they Reinhard says that he plans to overthrow and like, rule, and he wants to destroy the nobility and these people who think they can do whatever they want. Um and like all the corruptness and all of these people. And he's very much about merit. He's like, well, these things should be like whoever's the best should get the position. Whoever's the best should get whatever. You shouldn't just get it from birth. So, um, through the influence of the emperor, he uses the emperor to make himself like give him a fleet, like and become like a low level officer in the Imperial Navy. And
Solid.
that
Okay.
begins his journey as he starts climbing higher and higher. And it's these two opposed forces, but it raises this whole question like what is truly better, a autocracy with a leader like if Reinhard becomes emperor, is it an autocracy with an amazing enlightened ruler who does everything for the people and overthrows the rich, or is it for a democracy that's corrupt just because it's a democracy and in the future it could be better?
I
So it
mean,
plays
it's
these
all
two
about
sides
time,
against.
right? What's gonna
Yeah.
happen after this generation or two?
Yeah.
Hmm.
um
It seems
my
pretty
my
cool.
whole thing, yeah, my whole thing between like my own opinion is the greatest asset of autocracy is efficiency. You can get stuff done.
Yeah.
Like there's no red tape. You get whatever you want pushed through. There's no opposition. But the greatest strength of democracy is stability.
No, I totally agree.
Yeah. And
Actually, once we get around to the Fallout episode,
mhm,
man, it really pains me that you got to play New Vegas sometime. I'm
yeah,
sure it could
I
run on your toaster. I mean, it came out like 2012. It's on this crappy old engine, but it's totally a political game, and it
mhm,
has different factions for like democracy, like a dictatorship, another autocracy. There's anarchy,
yeah,
um, and it's the best and worst of all of those. And it also has themes of like, should you use like new technology? I mean, it's the stuff that plunged the world into hell, or should
right.
you go back to the old ways, which is also kind of what plunged the world into hell?
Mhm.
And it's Jane. It's gonna be it could be either it could be another Jane versus Kenny kind of
Oh yeah.
deal. It could be one of those deals depending on how you see each faction. Because one of the
Right.
biggest ones is like for the actual stability of the Mojave region, which one is the best? And
Right.
it has it's right up. It's the same as this thing right now. Same as
Yeah.
Legend of the Galactic uh,
Heroes.
Heroes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
got that feel all over it.
yeah, because I go through this and I love both of the characters. Because personally, I am a Yang Wen Li type person, but I can't help but want Reinhard to win, you know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like because it's like I'm Yang Wen Li and it's like I don't want him to win because he has this like these corrupt people that are just like awful. And it shows in the alliance there's even like all these protests against the government because the government's like trying to invade the Galactic Empire,
yeah.
and they lost all these lives, and then they were cracking down on the civilians, and they go and they massacre like thousands of civilians under this repressive democracy, and it was just like, holy cow. And so like you want Reinhard to win, but at the same time you're like, when Reinhard's gone, it's just gonna be terrible after him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
So
I hear you.
it's very fascinating.
Man, I should watch it. We could do a revisit
Yeah.
of the topic.
So it's like roughly it's like 110 episodes. I'm dead serious.
Uh,
I know, that's the thing.
uh,
Now, Alex, here's the alternative though. Before it was an anime, it was a series of novels.
all right.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
each one's about 200 pages. And it's currently being translated into English, and I own the first 5.
You own the first five.
And I have read them.
That
Yes.
means I also own the first five, is what you're
Yes.
saying.
Yes, you can begin reading it.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
and
just might.
yeah. So you could do either you could watch through the 110 episodes of 20 minutes or read the novels. Currently the first 5 are the only ones that are out. The 6th one comes out I think later this year. But I'm buying them up.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of current.
Yeah, it's currently being translated. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Fascinating.
Cool.
Yeah.
I watched an anime recently. If it was like the shape of a voice or something.
Hmm.
It's this like slice of, well, I say slice of life, but it's pretty good. It's second in the box office at Japan right now. And I
Wow.
watched a rip online on YouTube. And it was like it's about this deaf girl, and
Mhm.
she gets just like destroyed by these kids in like middle school. It's brutal. And it's about the guy, the kid
Aw.
who was a bully. His social life basically gets ruined because the teacher shows up with like the parents, and they're like, "Yeah, you guys screwed up really bad. Who did it?" And it was like, "This kid did. This kid did." So then everyone just avoided him, and he's kind of he nearly kills himself
Wow.
uh later, but then he's like, no, I won't. And he still goes around and he's trying to right his wrongs and everything. But it's very sappy, I gotta admit. If you watch it, you'll be like,
Yeah.
Alex, watch this. But yeah. But it's also pretty fascinating. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never really thought much about deafness. Um,
Yeah.
my cousin
It's
told me
weird,
that
right?
her grandfather was deaf when I was little, and I thought she said he was death, like
Oh, yeah.
the Reaper, and
Yeah, he was the
I
Reaper.
was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." But yeah, I watched some videos about like real life deaf people afterward,
Mhm.
um, and sign language and stuff. I watched a video about how to curse in sign language, which I
Oh,
might curse in
yeah.
sign language from now on because they really put all of themselves into it.
Yeah.
I'd feel incredibly insulted if someone made those gestures toward me.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Yeah. That
I was
that reminds
Yeah,
I
yeah,
I
go ahead.
recently watched a horror movie on Netflix about someone who's deaf.
I know about that. It's the old man in his house, and he's deaf, and the kids go in or something.
No, I have not heard of that one. This one is called Hush,
Yeah. What's it
and
about?
so it's just a woman. She lives alone in her house. And like she's a novelist. Um, but she is deaf,
Okay.
and so she can't hear what's going on. And what happens is there's like the serial killer that um it shows her earlier talking with some of her friends in sign language. Um, and the friends leave, they're like neighbors. And anyway, so the beginning of the movie is she's just like sitting there typing on her computer writing her novel, and the neighbors like run to her door and start banging on the door, and she can't
Oh,
hear
that's
it.
so screwed up.
And then like the serial killer comes behind, like murders her, like, and the girl has no idea what's happening.
Brutal.
And then so the serial killer like walks inside her house and like stands right behind her. She still can't hear him,
She must
and
have
it's like,
carpeting. There's no way you would live in a carpeted house if I was deaf. I'd want every little vibration.
yeah. Well, it does show how she can hear things through vibration, like throughout the movie, which is cool. But no, it's just like it's terrifying for the first, X number of minutes, where it's like she has
Yeah.
no idea, like that he's in the house.
Do they capitalize on the whole deafness? Do they have moments where it's like almost silence or like totally silent?
Um, yeah, but there are other moments where they purposefully make it loud, in order to like
Like scare you.
do the other way too,
Yeah, yeah.
where it's like it's super loud and she has no idea what's
Auditory
happening.
jump scare. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think when it switches her perspective, it goes silent
That's
time.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was. I mean, the ending of the movie turns into the stereotypical like fight it out, blah blah blah. But it earlier than that, it's still just for the whole premise. It's fascinating.
It would be cool to learn sign language. Just be kind of
Yeah.
hard.
Wait,
I
Alex.
saw yeah,
Oh, sorry. I just with sign language. I've heard of sign language singing.
sign language saying what?
Singing.
Singing. Uh, no? What is
Yeah,
that?
this is the thing. You will have to check it out. People when they will it's like dancing but singing at the same time. So that they have songs where they sign the lyrics of the song dancing with the song.
What?
Yes, sign language singing. It is a thing.
I'm looking it up right now. It's mostly like how to say singing in sign language, but oh, I see a video. Oh yeah, it's some sort of rap video, and this guy's signing everything. It's to the beat too. Wow, you're right. This is super cool.
Yeah. And it's amazing. If you watch people I don't know, it's beautiful to me when you see like some of these people where they have such emotion
Yeah,
when they're
wow.
singing to something while signing.
I'll have to look up some other ones.
Yeah.
I oh, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
No, I remember now. I was looking up stuff about that, and then one of them was I saw a video about apparently there are several cases of people pretending to be a sign language interpreter and like going in front of like local TV where they give like an emergency service call, and they just made it up. They made all of it up, and they do some news reports on like, oh my God, this guy faked it, and then it's like, yeah, no kidding, he faked it. They're just waving their arms around their head. If you see the video, they look like a total fool.
But no, it's like the whole like if you look like you know what you're doing, then people assume that you know what you're doing. Except for if you really look at them, you'll know that
Yeah.
that's like not sign language.
It's like one of the ways you can commit like corporate espionage or whatever or get into places is it's you one of the most common ways is you hold a bunch of boxes stacked with papers. So you have your
Hmm.
hands absolutely full and you stand in front of a doorway that needs a key card and you just pretend to try to I can't I can't do it. And then someone will come along and say, "Oh, hey. Hey, let me get that for you." Stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense because people are nice. Yeah.
Those are always my favorite kind of infiltration sequences in like
Right.
games and movies and stuff is when they just walk in and no one asks.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um. Oh yeah. Oh, dang it. Bringing it back to the anime just for a minute.
Hmm.
I thought it was interesting how I saw a video about how America is portrayed by different animes.
Hmm.
Uh, and it was pretty interesting because I mean,
Yeah.
because you got the whole World War II thing, but then
Right.
you also have their success today where they're like totally killing it in the market and
Right.
stuff. But I saw some hilarious portrayals. Have you ever heard of Hetalia? No wait, Hetalia something something something. It's
I
like
have heard of it.
you
Yes.
have you might have
Yeah.
introduced me to it maybe, or maybe it was my
I, d-
other friend.
I don't think I have, but I have heard of it. I have not watched it.
Yeah, it showed the
Mhm.
American portrayal, and he was trying to give a speech about how to attack the enemy, but he was scarfing down hamburgers. Okay, we'll flank to the left, and then yeah, go around the backside.
Oh my god.
And it also showed him as like a very cocky, like confident, happy guy. He's like, okay, we're gonna create a thing called United Nations, and we can all have a vote, but if I don't like it, it doesn't count or something like that. And he's like super
Yeah,
chipper.
like
He's
the whole
super chipper
veto.
the whole way. Like, he really believes in
Yeah.
everything. I thought that was hilarious. I love it.
Yeah. It's
International
amazing.
banter right there. I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just reminded me of that. But yeah, good
Yeah.
stuff.
That reminds me. I've been watching some YouTube videos recently about like American, like what people think of America when you're like from other countries.
Yeah.
Um, and this was particular. It was talking about their accent, rather than the other parts, because the other parts, um, mostly people said loud. Mostly people think of Americans as loud, somewhat arrogant, usually a little bit
Really?
overweight.
I mean, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm
Yeah,
I don't- but
yeah,
any,
yeah, and the language was funny though. People were talking about, oh, they were saying the worst British accents by Americans,
oh,
and they were saying
featuring Alex Bone and Benjamin Barrett.
yeah, but they were saying Dick Van Dyke, his British accent, they like it is like universally known as being absolutely horrendous in Britain.
Oh,
Like it's actually embarrassing. Like people are like really offended apparently because it's like so bad of a British accent.
I know some of those. I watch. There's this channel called the Internet Historian,
Mhm.
who pretty. It's a pretty fresh channel, and he documents some like really cool, crazy happenings on the internet, like bunch of
Yeah.
crazy, fun. It's all very lighthearted, and it has tons of jokes, but it also documents the activity of like Shia LaBeouf and the camera during the Trump
Right.
election, or this and that. Just generally, just funny things that happen. I highly recommend it. But one
Yeah.
of the later videos that just released the other day, he's from New Zealand, and he tried doing his American accent with it, like his American friend asked him, is that what we sound like?" When he tried mimicking something, he's like, "Yeah, yeah, here," and he's like, "Oh yeah, hey guys, I like I'm wearing good socks right now, yeah," and he's like, I don't know, he just showed us as like super optimistic, gung ho, like yeah, and we say yeah a lot and like a lot, which is true,
Yeah.
really true.
It is.
But I was blown away. I thought it was really cheesy and hammy, but it wasn't wrong.
Yeah. Scarily accurate.
Also, I saw this video called it was travel advice to people visiting America, which is
Mhm.
weird because usually you see travel advice for visiting Italy or Japan or you know Russia or something. But
Right.
it was weird seeing it from the other perspective.
Mhm.
And he gave a bunch of tips about like tipping people, and he said rent a car or something, or travel by airplane. This place is huge, um, and a bunch of like stuff like that. And it was fascinating to see it from the other
Yeah.
side. The comment section was absolutely full of arguments as per usual.
Right.
Um, one of the things he said was like, uh, don't. Oh yeah, one of the things he said was personal space is very valuable here. Don't like go up and like I don't know, kiss their cheek or something, or give them a hug to greet them, because it's like we'll get weirded out, which is
Yeah.
probably true. Some people. I mean, it's
What, do
case
they
by
do
case,
that
but well,
in other countries?
I don't know. But like they said,
Wow.
hugging was definitely in other countries it's seen as just like, hey, I like you, you're a cool person, you're my
Mhm.
friend, give me a hug. But in here, if you just hug some guy you barely know, it's like, whoa, slow down. Yeah, I left a comment saying one of the things he said was like chill out around strangers and stuff. But I said, hey, if you're down south, love you over here. Say hi. Walk along the street, ask for directions. Then I got into a big argument, but it's par for course. But yeah, it was really fascinating seeing the other
Yeah.
side. I
Yeah, it
love
always.
I love the trope of like a super international best of the best team,
Mhm.
the world, each country setting aside their differences for like a specific purpose to get like the extreme best team elite ever. So like
Yeah.
Rainbow Six is really cool. I read the book. That was pretty rad. Stuff like that. I don't know. I just love it. And you see that a lot nowadays with in media, especially
Yeah.
games, because games are pretty international. I mean, you got some
Right.
of the best players in South Korea. That's huge. They're like the home base for competition. But you also see some really good Russians and Italian players. Of course, you got some from America, but Japan has some like really unique things. So you see that a lot in games, which I love. It's very inspiring.
Yeah, that is. Only we could work more on other things and like life in general.
I think my running theory is that the only way each of us, like the world, will unite under a single kind of flag kind of deal is if aliens show up. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're hostile or friendly. We need something different to point at and be like, "Hey, you're not us." And right now it's just us here, so
What about space? Like without aliens? Like what if
it's not
like
gonna
the
work.
population is left so much to other like planets that we have to have an Earth government rather than
I guess that would work. Maybe if
yeah,
we colonize like a ton of different planets, but it would still just be us hating other humans. Just be
yeah,
like, "Oh, I hate Europa 581G or whatever. Earth for life." No, it's got to be
yeah.
aliens. It's got to be
I don't know.
aliens.
I feel like we could, but not without many years
It would
from now.
I
Like
feel like
not
I
in
feel like we're sooner to destroy each other than unite if it's just
yeah,
us on this rock or even
yeah,
in other rocks in space.
yeah.
But yeah,
I feel like it's possible, but not probable.
cautiously optimistic.
Yes.
Man, stay pure, Benjamin. Stay innocent.
Well, I mean, I have to at least be cautiously optimistic if I want to go out and change the world.
Nah, I don't want to be a pessimist. I mean, I think you're right to an
No,
extent.
Alex, let's take the title realist. Let's take that title. So we
It's
look at the real parts of both sides.
all right. You lead.
All right. Alex and Benjamin, realists.
Come to us. But I'm feeling kind of hungry. Let's go.
Yeah,
You want to call it a day? Go get some lunch.
let's do it.
I'll pick you up. Where are you thinking? Uh, Maybe Moe's.
Hmm.
Maybe not Aomi's. You just had a traumatic experience. You
Yeah,
can't.
traumatic experience. I don't know. I'd be down for Moe's. I'd be down for Chick-fil-A. I'd be down for whatever. Maybe not
Chick-fil-A.
AMA's.
We'll talk about
I
Chick-fil-A.
actually have a gift card for Chick-fil-A.
We might have to go to Chick-fil-A. We
Yeah.
better sign off. We're making everyone
Yes.
hungry.
I know.
Alex
I'm
Bone,
sorry.
leaving breakfast B&B for some lunch.
Yes, and this is Benjamin signing off. I'm sorry if you don't know what a Chick-fil-A is, 'cause it's amazing.
We'll talk about that next time.